For centuries, the Archivum of Earth stood as a repository of knowledge so vast that it rivaled entire national libraries of earlier ages. Holographic displays filled the circular halls, each projection bringing to life battles and treaties from thousands of years of human history. Statues dedicated to the historians of old, some carved from ancient marble, others sculpted in polymer lined the corridors. Scholars wearing deep blue robes moved in hushed excitement, always tending to digital entries, artifacts, and relics from humanity's long march. On a humid afternoon, thunder rumbled overhead. Dr. Elaine Chang, a renowned historian, rushed past a swirl of younger archivists. She clutched a data slate tight against her chest as alarms began echoing across the planet's communication grid. News channels repeated the same frantic broadcast. An alien fleet was approaching Earth from the outer reaches of the solar system. The invader's identity was confirmed only hours prior, an unknown species with advanced technology, bristling with weapons that dwarfed anything Earth had encountered. Panic spread quickly. Elaine took a moment to compose herself by one of the Archivum's grand columns. She gazed at rows of digitized tapestries depicting medieval armies clashing on horseback and glimpsed a more modern exhibit showing the trenches of Earth's World War I. She understood that the fear gripping humanity now had its echoes in the past. War had been a constant companion of human civilization, and the lessons it offered were etched into the very bones of the archive. "Dr. Chang!" a voice called. It was Lieutenant Prakash, sporting his crisp uniform with the insignia of Earth Defense Council. He hurried over, breathless. "They want you at the council briefing. You're the head historian. There's something crucial about these hostiles, something we need from your archives." Aileen followed, weaving through labyrinthine corridors until they reached a secure chamber. The door hissed open, revealing a round conference table beneath a flickering hologram of the solar system. Council members, intelligence officers, and leading scientists hunched over charts and star maps. The atmosphere crackled with stress. As Lieutenant Prakash ushered Elaine in, all eyes fixed on her expectantly. "Dr. Chang," began Avramov, the Council's head of strategic operations, "we have reason to believe these aliens calling themselves the Auror conquer, not with brute force alone, but with cunning warfare. They prefer strategies that exploit an opponent's weaknesses. Already we've seen them outmaneuver several of our scout fleets. We want your help in predicting their approach. We know history is filled with examples of twisted, brilliant tactics, from Hannibal's crossing of the Alps to the Trojan horse. If we can find the right analog, we might stay one step ahead." Elaine glanced at the holographic star map. Icons representing Earth's small defense fleets blinked in a scattered pattern. The Council had only a patchwork plan, but it was something. "I'll do what I can," she said, voice measured yet urgent. "Human history is a tapestry. Let's see if we can unravel it to find threads that match the Auror's methodology." She returned to the Archivum and formed a research team of fellow historians, cryptanalysts, and anthropologists. The group convened in a wide open gallery. A swirling array of references floated before them, from ancient manuscripts on siege warfare to data from reconnaissance probes that had survived brief encounters with the Auror. For days on end, no one slept. They meticulously dissected the Auror's initial battle protocols, mapping them onto Earth's wartime strategies over thousands of years. "Look at this," said Dr. André Francois, toggling a hologram. It displayed an Earth destroyer-class vessel, battered. "They jammed our communications, then used feints to lure the destroyer into a poorly defended corridor of space. It's eerily similar to how wolfpacks operated in the Second World War, using decoys to force convoys into a kill zone." Elaine nodded, her eyes alight with realization. "Exactly. And here," she gestured toward a digital overlay of classical Earth battles, "these infiltration tactics mirror Hannibal's at Cannae encircle and annihilate. The Aurora set up a defensive line that appears weaker than it is, prompting the enemy to advance, then surrounds them swiftly. Gradually, patterns emerged. It became evident that their enemy studied its prey before committing to large-scale engagements. They tested Earth's response with small skirmishes, gauged how Earth's command might react, and adapted to those reactions with uncanny speed. Historians recognized a page right out of the playbook of asymmetrical warfare: adapt, learn, and exploit psychological vulnerabilities. Even with these insights, one vital piece of the puzzle remained missing. Earth needed a strategic vantage point, some historical precedent for a situation where a technologically or numerically inferior force had triumphed through guile and unpredictability. War stories abounded: the Greeks' Trojan horse, the Viet Cong's guerrilla tactics, the Zulu mastery of the bullhorn formation. But the Auror seemed to combine the cunning of multiple historical campaigns into a single cohesive system in a chamber called the War's Circle. Deep within the archivum, digital dioramas of thousands of Earth's historical battles looped endlessly in shimmering three-dimensional detail. Elaine and her team spent hours there in debate, referencing everything from Genghis Khan's strategies to Germany's Blitzkrieg. She leaned forward, confidence giving way to frustration. Despite the examples, something intangible about the Auror's maneuvers eluded them. Then a young historian named Amara He took a different angle. She proposed an analysis of wars that had ended in standstills or crippling stalemates, not with a decisive victory. We've been looking at battles that ended with upsets or cunning conquests. But what about the drawn-out conflicts? She asked. The Auror aren't trying to blitz us into submission. They're testing us, cutting supply lines, sowing distrust, spreading chaos. That's a long-game approach. Dr. Chang's eyes lit up. Stalemate wars. She called for data on World War I in Earth's timeline, a prolonged, gruesome conflict defined by trenches, attrition, and a war that turned on the introduction of new tactics. She also requested analyses of the Cold War's psychological standoff. One detail kept surfacing: propaganda and subterfuge often did as much damage as bullets. The Auror might be setting the stage for a form of cosmic trench warfare, slowly wearing down Earth's logistics and morale. Earth's leaders distributed the new findings among the top brass, who promptly sanctioned a plan named Tactic Matrix Zero. At its core, it was a marriage of the defense lines of medieval Europe and the layered networks of Cold War espionage. Decentralized command posts multiplied around Earth and on the Moon. Secret supply routes were established, akin to hidden farmland behind medieval city walls. Meanwhile, satellites broadcast disinformation to the Auror, hopefully feeding them false clues about Earth's resource distribution and command hierarchy. The first real test came 2 weeks later. A cluster of Auror ships approached Earth's orbit under cloak. Earth's sensor grid, newly re-engineered, detected faint distortions. Earth's command centers pretended to be caught off guard, feigning panic in hopes of leading the aliens into a carefully orchestrated kill zone near Earth's polar region. True to form, the Auror bit, sending a forward detachment that targeted what appeared to be an inadequately defended polar command station. What they met were hidden planetary guns designed to knock out capital ships. 3 massive blasts lanced into the void. 2 Auror vessels vanished immediately, swallowed by pulses of energy they never saw coming. The third reeled, its propulsion systems shredded. Earth's smaller corvettes, waiting in the wings, closed in and finished the job. This victory, though small, was Earth's first tangible success against the Auror. Cheers erupted across the planet, news feeds proclaiming this as proof that Earth was still in the fight. Yet the historians braced for the inevitable. The Auror would learn from this. Their next move wouldn't be so rash. True enough, within days came new reports of stealth attacks on Earth's outer colonies. A manufacturing station was obliterated near Mars. A supply ship to Jupiter's moon outpost never arrived, and rumors of infiltration among Earth's command ranks circulated. Some council members worried that the infiltration might be more than rumor. In response, Elaine's team delved deeper into intelligence from captured Auror debris. The aliens' language began to yield secrets through advanced cryptography. The Auror, it turned out, were not a monolithic empire but a confederation of fractious clans. Each clan's leadership jockeyed for prestige within a larger governing structure. Historians recognized parallels in Earth's fractious alliances of old, whether in the feudal era or the city-states of ancient Greece. Exploiting divisions had often tilted the scales in Earth's history. Perhaps the same principle would apply here. Dr. Chang recommended a carefully crafted psychological operation. If the Auror were truly clan-based, then inciting conflict among them might disrupt their chain of command. Subtle misinformation campaigns were launched, seeding the idea that certain clans had struck secret truces with Earth, or that Earth had gained advanced weaponry through alliances with rival alien powers. For good measure, Earth's intelligence planted false Ahrur transmissions that wove rumors of betrayal among clans. Throughout this, Earth's historians cross-referenced the Trojan War, the Peloponnesian War, even the petty aristocratic feuds of medieval Europe. Dividing your foe from within, they insisted, had proven historically potent. The present question was whether the Auror recognized Earth's attempt at a psychological wedge, or if they fell for the ruse. Meanwhile, the war carried on. It wasn't constant open battle, but a series of feints, raids, and counterattacks. Earth's orbital stations locked down in fortress mode, turning shipping routes into potential battlefields. Civilians retreated underground, implementing the old concept of defense in depth that had characterized countless Earth conflicts. Every day, episodes of violence sparked somewhere: sabotaged factories on the moon, a hijacked star freighter, infiltration attempts on major Earth cities. The Earth Defense Council raced to stay one step ahead, using studied patterns from the past, gleaning new lines of defense from how populations survived the total wars of the 20th century. A breakthrough came when an Auror clan leader named Pharisol transmitted a scrambled message to Earth, bragging about his clan's might. That boast, picked up through covert channels, was enough to confirm Earth's suspicion. The Auror victory agenda hinged on competing clan leaders, each trying to gain the greatest glory. Dr. Chang pointed to the fractious wars of medieval Europe. When nobles jockeyed for power, alliances formed out of raw ambition, often leading to betrayals. If we can pinpoint a clan that feels slighted or overshadowed, we might coax them into a side deal. The council greenlit a covert mission to contact Pharasel's rivals under the false banner of negotiations. They offered hypothetical trade routes, technology exchanges, or even shared spoils if one clan decided to turn on the others. Whether it would work was uncertain, but the historical basis was clear. Earth had a long track record of fueling divisions to shatter unified coalitions. The next weeks were tense. Dr. Chang hardly slept, waiting for a sign that the seeds planted had taken root. That sign arrived, in the form of a fierce clan uprising within the Aurora Confederation. Council intelligence picked up distress calls in the Aurora language that they initially struggled to decipher. When the meaning became clear, it was monumental. Two major clans had turned on a third, apparently reacting to the fabricated intel that clan leaders were carving up the future spoils of Earth. The Confederation was fracturing, each clan paranoid that the others were cutting secret deals for power. Taking advantage of the upheaval, Earth's fleet launched targeted strikes against outlying Aurora bases. Guided by the historian's research, Earth deployed swift, coordinated assaults reminiscent of a blitzkrieg approach, but scattered in multiple theaters. A principle taken from the Allies' multiple theaters approach to mine, a principle taken from the Allies' multiple-pronged offensives in the second half of World War II. The Aurora, caught in internal strife, found themselves off balance. Yet this was no sudden fairy tale ending. The Aurora were still formidable, and their technology remained unmatched in certain areas. Many clans recognized the threat too late, rallying to resist Earth's new offense. Historians within the Archivum urged caution. They reminded the brass that historically, a cornered enemy was often the most dangerous. The planet's leadership walked a tightrope between pressing the advantage and overextending. On Earth, morale surged at the promising signs of turning the tide, but Dr. Chang felt nagging doubts. A voice in her mind recalled the cautionary tales of hubris, from the Persian Wars to Napoleon's march into Russia. Overconfidence was a downfall that had repeated itself ad nauseum across civilizations. She gave speeches to top officials, stressing the importance of measured steps. The Council's war planners agreed. They began reorganizing Earth's fleets and fortifications once more, anticipating a counterstroke. Sure enough, the Aurora responded with a cunning gambit. They pretended further disarray among their clans, luring a portion of Earth's ships into a zone near Jupiter, where a civil war among the Aurora was supposedly unfolding. The historians had predicted a possible trap, but the operational command was so eager to exploit the perceived weakness that they rushed to strike a decisive blow. Several of Earth's capital ships entered Jupiter's orbit, only to be ambushed by a united Aurora force that quickly decloaked. The ambush was devastating. Earth lost 3 capital ships and countless smaller vessels. Messages of horror spread throughout the solar system. Reeling from the loss, Earth fell back to a more defensive posture. Dr. Chang felt acute guilt for not having hammered her cautionary advice more forcefully when the generals made their move. The council met in crisis talks under the flickering lights of the star map once again. Tired, stoop-shouldered officers pleaded for a path forward as panic set in. But the historians recalled another truth from human history. Conflicts often hinged on perseverance and adaptation in the face of dire setbacks. Earth had suffered worse in centuries past and had still emerged, battered but unbroken. In that spirit, Elaine Chang redoubled her efforts. She oversaw a new initiative to unify Earth's intelligence networks under a single framework, calling it the Network of Ages. Drawing from the lessons of the Allies' code-making in World War II, as well as modern encryption principles, the network granted a nimble, secure channel of communication to Earth's entire defense apparatus. It made Earth's intelligence sharing almost instantaneous, reducing reaction times drastically. A key edge that had often decided historical battles. Simultaneously, she collaborated with scientists to develop a new weapon system partially inspired by archaic Earth weaponry that had once been dismissed as obsolete in cosmic conflict. Space mines, updated for the space age, were seated around Earth's busiest approach corridors. They were invisible to typical scanners, blending quantum entanglement technology with stealth coatings. The Aurora might see a worthless stretch of space where, in truth, thousands of Earth's mines lay dormant, waiting. It was reminiscent of historical naval mines or even the landmines used in terrestrial wars. Historians had gleaned insights into how cunningly placed ordnance could deny an area to an enemy, forcing them into choke points. As the days wore on, Earth's renewed confidence was fragile but determined. Gradually, the cracks in the Aurora Confederation re-emerged, this time exacerbated by real grievances over the ambush near Jupiter. Earth's misinformation campaigns continued to pit clans against one another, fueling distrust so profound that communication between the clans became sporadic. Some clans withdrew from Earth's vicinity entirely, hoping to consolidate power in other sectors of the galaxy rather than risk it all. A chain of events, taken from the annals of Earth's greatest struggles, now guided the war's next phases. Bold infiltration missions reminiscent of the Trojan horse tactic inserted infiltration pods onto an Aurora mothership. The small squads, compiled of the best Earth special forces, sabotaged key systems from within. Meanwhile, Earth fleets harried the edges of Aurora territory, employing hit-and-fade tactics borrowed from guerrilla warfare. Every approach came laced with historical precedent, hammered into shape by modern technology. Though the war waged on, a subtle shift in momentum became undeniable. The Aurora could no longer trust each other's transmissions, nor could they mount a unified retaliation. Their once menacing stance had begun to waver. When one clan tried to rally an all-out assault on Earth, half of the Confederation abstained, questioning the real threat Earth posed, or believing an attack might be a trap to leave their own territories unguarded. Humanity braced for the next big confrontation. The planet's defense grid was on high alert, Earth's ships, battered as they were, waited in strategic orbits. Hours went by. Days passed. Finally, a lone Avror vessel came forward under a flag of truce. The occupant, a representative of a clan threatened by civil war in Avror space, requested negotiations. The battered warships of Earth hovered at a distance, suspicious. Could it be another ruse? Tense discussions began. The Aurora representative offered partial withdrawal in exchange for Earth's medical technology and a guarantee that Earth would help them quell the internal chaos among the clans. The council deliberated at length. Some advocated total war, until the Aurora were driven away entirely. Others recognized the chance to end the conflict while Earth still had a fighting force. Ultimately, the council sought Dr. Cheng's expert counsel. History shows many wars concluded not with the elimination of one side, but with uneasy truces, accords that merely paused the bloodshed, Elaine told them. Think of the treaties after the 100 Years' War or the multiple armistices in the 20th century. We might gain precious time to rebuild if we accept, and we can continue to undermine their unity from within. After a fraught debate, Earth extended the olive branch. Diplomatic channels opened. Historians guided the drafting of agreements, mindful of Earth's experiences with cunning foes in the past. They made certain each clause carried disclaimers and fallback positions. The Aurora representative appeared satisfied, at least for now. Tentative, the conflict simmered, lacking the final, decisive battlefield confrontation that many in Earth's public had expected. Conditions changed further when a second Aurora envoy arrived, presenting an alternative arrangement that contradicted the first. Confusion clouded both sides. Earth's historians recommended caution. Let them fight among themselves if they must. We'll hold strong. So Earth's leadership demanded greater concessions from both envoys. In effect, Earth was fueling the Aurora interclan rivalries again, reminiscent of the realpolitik of countless human nations that had exploited alliances to their advantage. Days stretched into weeks of negotiation. Though skirmishes flared here and there, the large-scale battles ceased. Historians believed the war had entered a new, uneasy phase. Neither peace nor total conflict. Earth's battered orbital infrastructure was rebuilt under watchful guard, and new mines continued to be laid in strategic corridors. Citizens still took shelter, uncertain whether the entire fragile arrangement would burst into renewed violence. Eventually, a clan coalition emerged from the Aurora side, posing as their official delegation. They sat at the negotiating table with Earth's envoys, forging what many hoped would become a stable ceasefire. The fundamentals of diplomacy came into play, shaped by thousands of years of human treaties and pacts. It was messy, full of suspicion and brinkmanship, but no side could deny that the situation had changed drastically from when the Aurora first appeared, brimming with unstoppable confidence. In the following months, a tense calm fell across the solar system. Some Aurora clans retreated, others formed small trade arrangements, and a few lingered warily near Earth's perimeter. The Earth Defense Council maintained a high state of readiness, guided continually by a council of historians. Historians became strategic advisors and educators for Earth's population, explaining that this precarious peace was rooted in a synergy of lessons gleaned from centuries of human conflict. Public sentiment shifted from desperation to cautious optimism. Yet no one was complacent. The historians, in a symbolic act, added a new wing to the archivum, dedicated to the Aurora conflict, the first conflict beyond Earth's cradle. They stored data slate after data slate of strategic insights, intelligence on clan hierarchies, and transcripts of negotiations. Holographic exhibits depicted the earliest skirmishes, the polar victory, the Jupiter ambush, the infiltration pods, and the final uneasy cessation of open hostilities. Dr. Elaine Chang often stood in that new wing after hours, reading or rereading the transcripts, analyzing every point of failure and triumph. She could hear the echoes of older struggles, the Napoleonic Wars, the World Wars, ancient conquests, and all the times diplomacy and subterfuge had played pivotal roles. Over her tenure, she had come to see human history as not merely a chronicle of wars, but as a dynamic code and encyclopedia of possible futures, each shaped by choices, mistakes, and clever insights. Historians, once dismissed as keepers of dusty scrolls, had emerged at the forefront of humanity's defense. Their knowledge, gleaned from the billions of lives lost and saved across innumerable campaigns, had helped shift the advantage against a threatening alien foe. The story of Earth's survival in this cosmic trial was one etched in the past, repurposed in the present. It was testament to the simple, persistent truth that those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it, yet those who do remember can reshape the future. Though the Aurora question loomed, each day Earth's watchers scanned the skies more calmly. Each day a moment that historians reassured might point toward peace, or at least the next chapter in humanity's cosmic journey. And that, in the end, was the greatest lesson, that in times of crisis, the knowledge of history can become a beacon, guiding the way through darkness, forging alliances that were once unimaginable, and ensuring life goes on more prepared, more aware, and tempered by the memory of battles long ago won or lost.